Hello everybody, Lisa Ponector from Awakening Movements here to share with you another really great lesson that encompasses whole body movement to help improve the functioning of the whole self. Today's lesson in particular, if you have some type of back, neck stiffness, this will be fabulous for that, as well as if you have any type of lower body history of trauma, or not feeling connected, or really good walking. This will help connect the image of and your sensation and feeling of connection from foot hitting the ground all the way up through the opposite shoulder. So when we take a step with the right foot, the weight will transfer up to left shoulder and vice versa, giving us that fluid type walking. So it will also help build the image of the rib cage as well as we explore today. So first off, why don't you all go ahead and take a moment to walk around and just feel as you're walking around what you sense moving, how it feels right now. If you can feel any movement in your upper back or in your pelvis, and in particular, do you sense the breastbone moving, or the area of the upper back where your tag would hang on the back of your shirt? Just sense if you feel any movement there. And also, are your ribs clear to you when you walk? Do they move, or is that a foggy part of your awareness? Oftentimes that's a foggy part of your awareness, or a person's awareness, so you won't be alone if that's the case for you. And today we are going to start to add layers of clarity to what you sense in yourself. So come on back to a space where you can lie down. And if it's more comfortable for you to have something under your head, please do that. If it's more comfortable for you to bend the knees, you can do that as well. And I'm just scooting up so you can hopefully see me in the camera there. And if your legs are comfortable long, you can put them that way to start. So as we begin, we always start with awareness scan of just noticing how you are giving yourself to the surface you're lying on. And because we move in habits and patterns and we work in certain ways, that creates a certain tonicity or tone in the muscles, and then we learn how to rest or hold depending on what we do. And typically before and after a lesson, there's a change in this awareness scan. So just think about how much of yourself is actually giving weight to the ground and how much of yourself is not giving weight to the floor. Make a mental note of that because we'll come back to that at the end. And just start with turning your head from side to side and just seeing what that's like. Going easily, a reminder through all these movements you want to be breathing. And just notice, is there one side that's easier for your neck to turn to? What is the quality or the smoothness or jerkiness of the motion? And then come back to rest. Actually, try that once more and think about how much of yourself actually moves. Is it just the neck, or can you sense some connection with the shoulders or a little farther on down your body? Good. Whatever you've noticed, just let that go. Bring your right hand up. You can slide it up your body, just so you keep contact with the arm on the body. Again, that's building that self-image of connection. So you can slide the hand up and I want you to start on the collarbone. So the collarbone attaches to the corner of your wing bone or your shoulder blade in the back, and just feel and trace that bone with 2 fingers or more all the way until you get to that sternal notch. So where your sternum is, there's that divot in the neck where your collarbones connect. And just feel around there. Trace it a few times back and forth, trying to sense the contours of the bone. That may be something you've never done before, like, wow, how curvy is this collarbone of mine? And feeling the places where it widens and where it thins. And you may notice some tender places if you have some neck or chest tightness. So just be gentle as you're tracing that bone. Good. Go ahead and slide your arm back down and rest. Sometimes just tracing your own bones can relax things. It's just a reminder to the brain that, hey, the bones are there to support, so that the muscles that are overworking can actually remember that the bones are there, and then the muscle tension can release. Bring the hand back up, and as much as you can, trace the top portion of your shoulder blade. And again, you might be surprised at, pardon me, surprised at the yawns that come up, as well as the width of the bone, the size of it. You might not have known that your shoulder blade was that big. Great. And then travel down to the breastbone, right in between the collarbones. And by the way, if it doesn't feel good for you to reach your arm, your right hand, to touch the left shoulder, you can try placing a pillow. You can try placing a pillow under your elbow to give your arm support. And if it's still difficult to reach, don't strain. Just imagine tracing it. If your hand only goes this far, do what you can. It's not about force. So once you've traced the collarbone, then take another break. And then take that same hand, swoop it up, and reach the bones of your neck. Just because we're trying to build the connection between the neck and the shoulder and the rest of the body here today. And again, if your neck is having some issues, just be gentle, but feel the bones as if you're saying, hey, dear brain, remember that the bones are here so the muscles don't have to work so hard. Because when you're using yourself correctly, you're going to be using the strength of the bones to power the movement versus the muscles having to overwork. Muscles are meant to contract and then relax, not to keep on going in a contraction mode. So sometimes that's part of the problem, is that image of our skeleton gets foggy. So here we can clarify it. And you're resting again after you've traced the neck. And now bring that right arm back up so that the hand rests somewhere on the shoulder comfortably. If you can reach it comfortably, place the palm of your hand right on the round part of the shoulder. They kind of fit together there. And then notice what you're doing with the elbow of the right arm. You can bring it up towards your forehead a little bit, not even close to touch, but up towards the ceiling actually is more like it. And then back down to the chest. And see if you can just soften. Again, you can use a pillow or a folded towel or something underneath the right arm if you need to. But try to soften that elbow down so that the muscles in the shoulder and the arm are just totally supported and totally relaxed. And then begin to open and close the fingers of your right hand as if your fingers are floating in water. Just trying to help relax some tension through the hands and the fingers. Good. And now begin to slide the fingers of the right hand down to the floor and just feel a little bit. You may be only moving a centimeter or two to the left. So your fingers are moving from off the shoulder to the floor, moving a little bit to the left. If this is not comfortable for you, you can take the pillow or some sort of something next to you that you can slide the hand on. So until this area releases more, your right shoulder, right upper back, neck, you may need some support. So wherever it is comfortable for you, go ahead and explore the floor to the left side of your left shoulder with your right hand. And you can move in any direction. You can imagine that you have finger paints on your fingers and you're just exploring the floor and creating a finger painting as you do this. Good. Bring your arm back down your body and rest. Once again, you bring that arm back up. And this time, we're going to notice as you slide your right arm to the left, what is your neck doing? And if your neck is staying still, I invite you to turn your head to the left to kind of look towards the fingers. So your eyes can remain closed, but you can imagine your closed eyes are still looking towards the fingers so that you begin to roll your head towards the left as well. And again, you don't have to go the same direction with the fingers to the left. They can kind of circle, they can move a little downward and to the left or straight out to the left. Just what is comfortable. And again, if there's any strain in the shoulder, you can either, the right shoulder, you can either put something underneath the elbow like this, or you can make the floor higher to the left where the right hand rests, stack something up, or both actually, if you need to. So just do what feels good for you. And you can try turning the head to the left and then go back to leaving the head still. And just notice what actually moves in your upper back, your chest, the front of the chest, the collarbone. On the right side, we didn't trace that collarbone yet, but that's something that, oh my goodness. That's something that you can do. Allow the yawns to be there. Never suppress a yawn. Good. Letting the arm down and resting once again. And just explore what is it like to roll the head from side to side. You may notice something has changed in terms of the quality of the motion or the freedom of the motion, the feel of your head on the floor. Maybe you sense more participation from the shoulders or the upper back. Good, and let that go with whatever you've noticed. And now you're going to bend your right leg. Place the left hand on your forehead and letting the elbow just be somewhere that's comfortable. And with the right hand, you're going to passively, or using the hand to passively move the neck. So the neck just goes along for the ride, but we're turning the head a little bit to the left by using the right hand to do this. The weight of the right hand and the right arm, and letting the elbow drop to the left to help move your forehead to the right. I'm sorry, letting the elbow drop to the right. Oh, right and left, left and right. But just rolling from side to side. This side and that side. That might be easier to say. Oh, doesn't that feel nice? Go ahead and let the arm come back down. And then bring that right leg back up if you did like I did and lengthened it out. And we're going to begin to push from the right foot into the floor. And you're going to notice how the pelvis actually tilts. The right side of your pelvis lifts. Now I have to be explicit with right and left because we're on a video and I can't just say this and that. And you can try different placements of the foot. So you can move the foot a little more in towards your left knee, feeling what it's like to push from there, a little more out away from the left knee, feeling what it's like to push from there, and where you feel that movement connecting to. You may feel it differently through the back or the rib cage. In fact, put your hands on your rib cage and just kind of feel what goes on there, because a lot of times this is a blind spot. And then take the foot farther away from you, down, away from your body. Sense how much effort there is to push from there. Then draw your heel in super close to your bottom and push from there. If that hurts your knee, find a better spot. If it hurts anywhere, you can always change the movement. Press from a different place. You can bring the toes out a little bit. You can turn the toes in a little bit. You can just really explore. You could actually move the foot wherever and have the toes in or the toes out, or the heel. So then you could leave the toes kind of more in a neutral foot so that the toes are in front of the heel. And then instead of moving the toes, just leave the toes where they are and move the heel in and see what it's like to go from there. And then move the heel outward, see what it's like to go from there. And you may find very different connections through your neck and your back, depending on how you have the foot and where you push from. Excellent. Go ahead and rest. Because if we're walking on uneven surfaces or rough terrain, the foot may go in a different way. And it's good to play with these connections because we get used to our own way of moving and standing, and the body really likes variety. Especially if you're stuck in a pain pattern. If we keep playing with patterns, the pattern of pain eventually goes away. Wonderful. Go ahead and bend the right knee again. And place the foot somewhere where you felt it was nice and easy to push from. Every time you do this lesson, you could actually do a different place. But as we continue, I want you to just pick one place of the foot. Draw the hand up, right hand onto the left shoulder again. And this time you're going to push the foot, slide the hand to the left, and turn the head to the left. So it's as if you're using the foot to turn the head and slide the arm. And you may find, oh my goodness, now that the pelvis and the low back and the ribs are kind of doing something, I can reach so much farther. And maybe your head goes farther. But again, it's not about trying to force the movement or going super far. We're just trying to feel. And you can push at different varieties. It could be that the foot starts and then the hand goes, and then the neck goes, and then on the way down it could be the hand comes back, then the neck follows, and then the release at the foot pressure. It could be everything goes at the same time. It could be the hand leads. Just go ahead and play. Leader and follower with the movement. Just let it be a variety. And working within a really comfortable range so that we're softening things. We're allowing change to happen. And rest whenever you need to. Allow the yawns to be there as well. Sometimes we hold a lot through the rib cage, neck, upper back, and this lesson is helping a lot of that go, as well as the low back. So once again, bring that right knee back up into standing. This time we're going to push with the right foot, the right hand slides to the left, but your head's going to go to the right. And so just start small because we haven't really explored that yet. Right hand slides to the left with those finger paints, where you could be on the beach and moving sand, but your head is rolling to the right. Maybe you're turning because someone's bringing you a pina colada or a margarita or a nice cold beer if that's what you like. Just let this be leisurely. And again, you can play with what goes first and who goes first, who goes next, or they could move all at the same time. Just working with a variety here. Excellent. Letting that go. And then rolling your head from side to side and just see what that's like. Notice if there's anything that's changed with the range or the quality of emotion. Sense your breathing. Coming back up with the right leg. And this time keep the neck still. And you get to play with, again, who goes first, either the right foot push or the right hand going to the left. And what comes back first. And they could go at the same time. And then go ahead and let your head move to the left again. It may kind of roll back to the right on the release of the foot push. And pause for a moment and take your left hand, reach over to your right lower ribs, and just gently hold there as if you're shining the light of awareness into your right rib cage as you do the same motion. Head rolling to the left so you can feel how much your rib cage actually participates here as you push the right foot, slide your right hand to the left, and let your head roll to the left. And then if you turn your head to the right as you do this, just feel what happens through the back and the rib cage. And if you can kind of go up underneath your armpit, you're not going to really be totally on the ribs there, but you might sense some movement. Might be on the shoulder blade a little bit. You could even put your hand on your breastbone to feel how the sternum turns to the left, even though your head is turning to the right. But if you turn your head to the left, see how much more the sternum turns. Feel the difference. Head rolls to the left when you do it, or head rolls to the right. So we're starting to unspiral the spiral when the head goes to the right. So it doesn't allow as much of a twist. Go ahead and Lengthen your leg out. Bring your arm back down if you haven't already, and just feel. Sense what changes there are in how you're resting on your back. How much more of yourself is resting on the floor. Now technically we could do both sides, so you could pause this, restart it, and do everything we just did on the other side. Just switch over the right and left side. And then you'll get a full sense of what doing this on both sides is going to do. If we recap really quickly to do it, it's nice to go through it all in pieces, but if you push from the left foot, slide the left hand to the right. Now if you have a shoulder or neck or back issue or something going on, take your time and go through the whole thing. I'm just giving you a little recap. Your head can stay still as you do this. Your head can roll to the right, or your head can roll to the left as the left hand slides towards the right with your finger paints, or rolling your fingers through the imaginary sand there, whatever tickles your fancy. And playing around with both sides is a really nice way to balance, but for the video's sake, we're just doing the one side, and you can restart it and do the other side. But after you're done, take a minute just to feel how much of yourself is resting and noticing, whoa, the quality of the head turn. I just said whoa because my head just turned super, super easy, almost as if it was going by itself to the right. Like it got to a pivot point and then zoom, it just kind of zoom, it just kind of went. So you may feel something different in your neck turning. And I'm silly, I like to make these little sounds, so if your turning is more like a or whatever it is, just enjoy the freedom, the new freedom that you feel with your neck turn. And then another really cool thing to do after this lesson is feel the walking again. So go ahead and come on up to sitting. Slowly peel yourself away from the floor, and then when you're ready, go ahead and bring yourself back up to standing. And when you're walking around, sense what it is just to actually first stand and feel what sensations you have in standing. You may feel like you're standing taller. You might be more aware of your collarbones or your shoulder blades or the breastbone or the breathing in the rib cage. And go ahead and walk around and just notice the rib cage, notice the shoulders, notice the pelvis, notice what's different in the walking and what's now in your awareness. And like I said, if you didn't do the other side, go ahead, restart, do the other side so you can feel balanced. Or you might have fun just doing one side, but especially if you have some neck difficulties or back or anything, do it on both sides and stay tuned for more great movements, awakening movements. We'll teach you how to do the spiral someday.